everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we wrap up the English commanders once and for all. Samuel Mosely is on the docket today, so an interesting commander. We get some really neat abilities here, a little force variation, and you can also run two different forces as well. So he's 27 points. We can go with English Buccaneers or the North American English Militia, and he has a special rule for that type of force there, which we'll get to in a moment. He has some weapon choices as well. We can go brace of pistols or buccaneer gun and standard melee weapon. Doesn't get a sidearm, but if he has the buccaneer gun, he could also just still have a pistol. So so interesting choices there. So in a certain sense, you're getting the most variety, I guess, if you take the buccaneer gun, the pistol, and you still have the standard melee weapon. You got three different things to choose from there. But the brace of pistols is pretty sweet, though. 12-inch command range, so going to cover a good section of the board there, and 2 command points, so plenty to use. So, excuse me. His force variation here is called unorthodox force. So if he's leading a militia force, Dutch caper units are actually core units in that, and then freebooters are support units, so a little switch there. But something to keep in mind when you're choosing which force to put them in, and also what you're using to build that force. He comes with 3 special abilities. So first off, lead by example. If the unit that includes the commander causes an opposing unit to be removed from the game, casualties or routing, all units in the commander's force may remove a point of fatigue. So we've seen that a couple times throughout our review series here, and that is a super potent ability. So if we can keep the commander's unit in the game as much as possible, not expose them to anything overly risky, but use them ideally, and the timing is always going to be a little bit tricky, but use them to finish off enemies, depending on how many units you have, and if they do, have some fatigue accumulated, just the ability to remove all that stuff for free, right? Like 1 from each unit is huge. If you think about how that can impact potential number of actions you have, maybe rescue units that are shaken, bring that down, just all kinds of different things, and potentially getting actions back and other stuff like that over time, and being able to do that over and over again. That's just a lot of essentially free actions you're getting that you don't actually have to take, and especially in a game like this, the more free stuff we can get, especially action economy, the better. So really good stuff there. Then broadside. So when we are playing on the water, that's almost a default ability to have. So not as good as the expert broadside, but still a good ability. Basically, we can roll all our cannon shots as 1 and increase our chance of getting crits. And crits are, of course, again, the best way for us to do all kinds of fun extra damage to opposing ships and really hopefully start debilitating their ability to fight back against us and winning those naval engagements before we have to get into any boarding actions potentially or hand-to-hand. So really good ability to have. But then the last one, which we want to cover, is Ruthless Commander, which is apparently now cold-blooded. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But what that ability really means is it's one of those where it's an ability that gives you essentially another existing ability. So sometimes that gets a little confusing in the game. But basically the commander has Ruthless, and in addition, though, any unit using a command point from the commander to take a fight or shoot action also gains Ruthless for that action. So that is a really special little combo there in and of itself. So Ruthless is a great ability. A lot of units do come with it, but being able to essentially use our command points selectively to confer that onto other units at the right time is fantastic. So especially if, let's say, a unit that you want to shoot at with your unit, maybe Ruthless wouldn't kick in necessarily, but a unit nearby that you have that could shoot at the enemy would actually trigger the Ruthless to actually take effect. You could issue a command point like, hey, go shoot that unit that's nearby. So being able to dole out essentially Ruthless at key times, and with that 12-inch command range, you've got a decent area that you can cover. So you can really maximize what some of your nearby units can do. You can use 1 maybe earlier in the turn to put some damage on the enemy, get some fatigue on there, and then when your commander's unit comes up, hey, let's just start doling out some extra shoot actions to other units nearby. Now that the enemy unit has fatigue, hey, it's ruthless kicking in, and we're just going to cause that much more damage. So a excellent ability. So he's got some really good stuff here, and then especially with lead by example, keeping us in the fight. A nice sort of alternative to seeing inspiring all the time. We see that with so many commanders, but this is a neat one too that can really trigger quite a few removals of fatigue throughout the game if we do it right. And again, Ruthless Commander when employed, or Cold-Blooded when employed properly, is going to be nasty as well. And of course, Broadside for those naval engagements. So all in all, a pretty good commander. Let us know, guys, in the comments where you feel he's better, or where you've had more success, whether the Buccaneers or the Militia. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back when we start getting into the French characters that we may have missed. So thanks for watching and sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next one.